Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to see the second part of first unit, which is lexical analysis. This is the first phase of, we have seen the phases of compiler. So this lexical analysis is the first phase of the compiler. So in that we are going to discuss what are the roles of lexical analysis. Input buffering in lexical analysis, specification of tokens, recognition of tokens, and lexical analysis generator lex. In this today's class we are going to see the first three chapters only. Remaining two topics we will be discussing in the next class. So today's class we are going to discuss about role of lexical analyzer, input buffering, and specification of tokens. So these three topics we are going to discuss for today's class. Lexical analysis role of lexical analysis. Lexical analysis is the first phase of the compiler. It takes the modified source code from the language preprocessors that are written in the form of sentences. So the output of the preprocessors in the form of sentences will be given to the input of a lexical analysis. The lexical analyzer breaks these syntaxes into a series of tokens by removing any white space or comments in the source code. So the lexical analyzer breaks these sentences into series of tokens by removing the white spaces or comments in the source code. If there is any white space or comments in the source code, that will be removed and the tokens are identified. If the lexical analyzer finds a token invalid, it generates an error. The lexical analyzer reads character streams from the source code, checks for legal tokens, and passes the data to the syntax analyzer when it demands. So the lexical analyzer reads the character streams from the source code one by one, checks for the legal tokens, and after checking the tokens, if the token is identified, then that particular token is passed to the syntax analyzer when the syntax analyzer demands it. Actually the syntax analyzer will demand for the token. When it demands, the token will be supplied to the syntax analyzer by the lexical analyzer. So this is the diagram for the lexical analysis process. The source code which is taken as lexemes, that is sentences given to the lexical analyzer input, given to the lexical analyzer as input, and tokens are separated by the lexical analyzer, tokens are identified by the lexical analyzer and supplied to the syntax analyzer. So the syntax analyzer, when it needs the token, it will recurse for the token to the lexical analyzer. Again the lexical analyzer will supply for the next token, like this. Tokens. What are tokens? Lexemes are said to be a sequence of characters in a token. So lexemes are said to be a sequence of characters in a token. There are some predefined rules for every lexeme to be identified as a valid token. So there are some predefined rules for identifying a valid token. These predefined rules are defined by grammar rules by means of a pattern. A pattern explains what can be a token, and these patterns are defined by means of regular expressions. So regular expressions, which are the mathematical form, which are in mathematical form, regular expressions. Again, tokens in programming language, keywords, constants, identifiers, strings, numbers, operators, and punctuation symbols can be considered as tokens. So these are the examples for tokens in the programming language. For example, in C language, the variable declaration line, which is int value is equal to 100 semicolon. This is a statement in C language. It contains the following tokens. What are the tokens? Int is a token which is called keyword. Value is a variable which is represented as identifier, and equal to symbol which is represented as operator, and 100 which is represented as constant, and semicolon symbol. Semicolon which is represented as a symbol. So here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens are there. What are the tokens? Int, value, equal to, 100 and semicolon. These are the 5 tokens in the particular statement of a C language program. Specification of tokens. How to specify the tokens? So they are specified by alphabets. Alphabets can be any finite set of symbols between 0 to 1. It's a set of binary alphabets. 0 to 9, capital A, B, C, D, E, F is a set of hexadecimal alphabets, and small a to Z and capital A to Z is a set of English language alphabets. So these are called alphabets. Strings. The tokens can be represented as strings. The strings can be any finite sequence of alphabets is called a string. Length of the string is the total number of occurrence of alphabets. We know that. What is the length of the string? Example, engineer is the string. So the length of the string is 8. A string having no alphabets. A string having no alphabets, which is empty string. A string is having 0 length, is known as empty string and is denoted by epsilon in our specification. Special symbols which are contained in the high level language. Arithmetic symbols, we know that plus, minus, modulo operation, multiplication symbol and division. Punctuation symbols, comma, semicolon, dot, arrow, these are called punctuation. Then assignment, equal to is the assignment. Special assignment, we know that plus equal to, division equal to, multiplication equal to, minus equal to. And comparison symbols, double equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than and greater than or equal to. And preprocessor symbol, which is hash. Hash symbol is the preprocessor symbol. And location specifier, which is used to represent the address, is ampersand symbol. And logical symbols, ampersand symbol is the and symbol, and double ampersand symbol, and pipeline operator, double pipeline operator, and exclamatory symbol. Shift operators, we have a double greater than, triple greater than, double less than, and triple less than. So these are the special symbols in the high level language. Language. What is a language? A language is considered as a finite set of strings over some finite set of alphabets. Computer languages are considered as finite sets and mathematically set operations can be performed on them. Finite languages can be described by means of regular expressions. Longest match rule. When the lexical analyzer reads the source code, it scans the code letter by letter, one by one. When it encounters a white space, operator symbol or special symbols, it decides that a word is completed. So the lexical analyzer reads the source code one by one, letter by letter. When it encounters the white space or operator symbol or special symbol, the lexical analyzer decides that a word is completed. This is the longest match rule. Next topic is input buffering in the lexical analyzer, which is a compiler design. Input buffering. The lexical analyzer actually scans the input from left to right one character at a time. So scans the input from left to right one character at a time. The lexical analyzer uses two pointers called begin pointer and forward pointer, which the begin pointer is represented as PTR of BP and forward pointer is represented as PTR of FP. These two pointers are used to keep track of the pointer of the input scanned. So this is the initial configuration of the lexical analyzer. See this, int I comma j is equal to int I comma j semicolon, actually it is mistaken, it is semicolon. Then second statement is I is equal to j plus 1 semicolon, then third statement is j is equal to j plus 1 semicolon. We know that in each and every statement in C language is separated with semicolon. So in this initial configuration, the two pointers, backward pointer and the forward pointer, both are in the initial point, initial address, initial point, which represent the I in the int. Initially both the pointers point to the first character of the input string, which is shown before. And next, for input buffering, next diagram is, see in the first diagram, the back pointer is representing the first character I, and the forward pointer moves one step ahead to the right, which is in the character n in int. And in the second diagram, the back pointer still represents the first character of int, and the forward pointer moves to the third character, which is t. Like that it moves. The forward pointer moves ahead to search for end of lexeme, that is end of token. As soon as the blank space is encountered, it indicates end of the token or lexeme. In above example, as soon as the pointer of forward pointer, which is FP, encounters the blank space, the token int is identified. The forward pointer will be moved ahead at white space when forward pointer encounters white space. It ignores and moves ahead. When forward pointer encounters the white space, it ignores it and moves ahead right. Then both the begin pointer BP and forward pointer FP are set at next token. That is, see this diagram, the token int is identified actually according to the previous diagram. the token int is identified, then white space is identified, then after that second token, it has to identify the second token. So in order to identify the second token, the forward pointer and backward pointer will be set to the next token's first character, which is I. So the backward pointer and the forward pointer are presenting the same character I. The input character is thus read from secondary storage, but reading in this way from secondary storage is costly. Actually, the input character is read from the secondary storage, from the hard disk, but reading from the secondary storage is costly. So what we can do? Hence, buffering technique is used. A block of data is first read into a buffer. A block of data is first read into a buffer and then second by the lexical analyzer. Actually, what happens in buffering? A block of data is read into the buffer, then from the buffer the lexical analyzer reads the data, reads the character. There are two methods used in this context of input buffering. They are one buffer scheme and two buffer scheme. One buffer scheme, only one buffer is used to store the input stream. So in one buffer scheme, only one buffer is used to store the input stream. But the problem still exists in this one buffer scheme also. The problem with this scheme is that if lexeme, that is token, is very long, then it crosses the buffer boundary. For example, if the token length is 5 and the buffer length is 3, then the buffer length is 3 only. It has to store the length of the token 5. A token having the length 5, it has to store, but it crosses the boundary. So still the problem exists. So in this case, what we can do? To scan the rest of the token, the buffer has to be refilled. That makes overwriting the first lexeme. So what happens here? Again, overwriting happens, so confusion will come. See this is one buffer scheme. Int I equal to I plus 1. Here overwriting happened. Coming to two buffer scheme, to overcome the problem of one buffer scheme, two buffers are used to store the inputs. The first buffer and the second buffer are scanned alternatively. When end of current buffer is reached, the other buffer is filled. When the end of the current buffer, first buffer, is reached, then the second buffer is filled. The only problem with this method is that if length of the token is longer than the length of the buffer, then scanning input cannot be scanned completely. Initially, both the pointers, forward pointer and backward pointers, are pointing to the first character of the first buffer. Then the forward pointer moves towards right in search of end of the token. As soon as blank, that is white space, is recognized, the string between back pointer and forward pointer is identified as corresponding token. To identify the boundary of first buffer, end of buffer character should be placed at the end of first buffer. Special symbols which are contained in the high level language. Arithmetic symbols, we know that plus, minus, modulo operation, multiplication symbol and division. Punctuation symbols, comma, semicolon, dot, arrow, these are called punctuation. Then assignment, equal to is the assignment. Special assignment, we know that plus equal to, division equal to, multiplication equal to, minus equal to. and comparison symbols. Double equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than and greater than or equal to. And preprocessor symbol, which is hash. Hash symbol is the preprocessor symbol. And location specifier, which is used to represent the address, is ampersand symbol. And logical symbols, ampersand symbol is the and symbol, and double ampersand symbol, and pipeline operator, double pipeline operator, and exclamatory symbol. Shift operator. Longest match rule. When the lexical analyzer reads the source code, it scans the code letter by letter, one by one. When it encounters a white space, operator symbol or special symbols, it decides that a word is. So with this, today's class is completed. And the remaining topics you will see in the next class. Thank you.